I wonder if there's more hoops in the eShop to do that.
I don't know, because
like logistically, I don't remember this being an issue with other games. Like, for example, The Witcher 3. I think there's still nudity in there, right?
Yeah, and Cyberpunk has like pretty intense nudity. Like when you're creating a character, you can do everything. Yeah, the character creation, you can pick and choose your what gender you are and what organs you have, and it shows it.
Yeah, so you can do that in Baldur's Gate 3 as well. I made my guy. I took him and I spun him back and forth.
The jiggle.
I did the
meat spin.
I did the meat spin with him, and I was like, I gotta get this right. I only got one chance to make this character the way I want to.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
Do that meat spin. Make sure I got it. Nailed it, of course.
Hi there, and welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, a podcast for all things JRPGs. I'm Emily.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Abdallah.
I'm crushing this.
You know, it's like 8:30.
Yeah, this is a late record, everybody. Understand, it's where our equilibrium is all thrown off.
Yeah, it's 8:30 at night. I don't
know about you guys. I'm on my game. It's only 6:30 here.
See, there you go.
I got a full belly. Dalla and I were out partying pretty late last night. We'll talk more about that maybe at the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So, yeah, it
was a good time.
Anyways, where you introduce yourselves?
I'm Brandon and he's Abdallah.
Yeah, I'm Brandon. He's Abdallah.
All right. Okay. Anyways, today we are tackling a rather controversial topic. I feel like whenever this idea is brought up, there's kind of like, I don't know, one of two sides people go on. They categorize this as a very black and white topic, but we want to tackle it more of like a nuanced topic, and that is censorship. Ooh. So we talked about this, I think, a bit on previous episodes, but we wanted to, tackle this head first in its own very dedicated episode, especially about recent events. I think many of you probably heard about Dispatch. Do you guys want to fill those in who haven't heard about that controversy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Dalla knows more about it than I
think
do.
Dalla,
so
go for it.
Take it away.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know much, but apparently recently, so many people have been waiting for the Switch 2 release of Dispatch and have already put in their pre-orders and everything. And then in the last week or so, there's been some news that came out where the Switch 2 version of Dispatch was heavily censored from a nudity and profanity perspective, which kind of is a little bit unfair to those who are wanting to buy for that system specifically because the PS5 edition and everything else is uncensored. And so they were just like, why us? Like, why are we being targeted for this one? Like, and
Nintendo,
a lot of people,
what is this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whose fault is it? Is it Nintendo?
Nintendo.
Is it?
Yeah, historically speaking, like in recent years, they're usually ones who let anything go by. They let hentai games be on their eShop. Like, why? Why
they love
is
this
this
stuff.
censorship?
They're crazy about it.
When I saw the news break about that, and they were like on Nintendo, I'm just like, wait, I can go on my Switch 2 like eShop right now, and it's going to be like the like top like new games that are out are going to be mostly hentai like games.
You don't have to dig for it.
No, it's like right up front.
It's there.
There's always a new one.
Yeah. Right. And Sony historically, like at least in the past 5 years or so, they usually heavily censored. Like I remember when I was buying Witch and the Holy Night and Tsushima Hime, those visual novels, like everyone was like, wait, don't buy the PS4 version because the art book is going to be censored.
Yep.
And
Sony's
the game
walking around like a school marm, slapping her palm with a ruler. Just
exactly.
Ready
which was
to discipline you bad kids.
Which always kind of shocked me as a whole, because like I always pictured like Nintendo would be the heavily censored, because like they've always been censoring since the NES world. Like
that was their shtick, at least here in America.
Exactly, they've always censored. Nintendo of America has always censored things coming here. And then Sony's always been a little bit more open with the types of games. If you look at like PS1, PS2, and things like that.
When they were owned in Japan, right? But I guess once they kind of switched over ownership, they became a little bit more hard pressed with some of these things.
I'd say, America, Puritans.
But yeah, so people are disappointed, and even more so, probably angry because they put down money to buy this game and found out they're getting artistically, I would say, a lesser version because it's not, you know, the original vision. I mean,
it's supposed to be like, you know, like in your face, like you're supposed to be kind of like, wow, they went that far, right? With this storyline.
Right.
Sensationalist, if you want.
Sensationalist, yeah.
Like for those who've watched like the show Invincible and things like that, it's like very much aggressively like upfront with its like, you know, intense moments of whatever they're trying to show off is either violence, profanity.
Aren't your daddies superheroes?
They're adults. They're adult specific type like animations and things like that. So that's where I think it kind of gets a little that shade of gray of like, this shouldn't be it. Like this is true censorship at this point.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and there's, you know, there's this topic, and there's been a lot of either actual censorship or accusations of censorship in JRPGs over the years. So it's a pertinent topic for us in this community of game fans to talk about and think about. It's complicated though. Like you said, Emily,
it gets complicated.
People want it to be very simple. I think as humans, we want to have a simple explanation for things.
Are you pro or anti-censorship?
Yeah. How do you feel about censorship? Are you for it? Well,
but going back to Dispatch though, like we've learned, I think after, you know, the huge what's happening, you know, when the news broke that censorship was hitting on the Switch 2, that there was a reason behind it, and one that was kind of unexpected.
It was very interesting, like the choices they made, because like there was a lot of back and forth whether like the internet was like, all right, is it Nintendo, is it, you know, the devs, and so like Nintendo had their like like Nintendo did their like little like press like release of like
the fact that they responded at all.
I know.
Tell you this was how loud this was, that Nintendo was like deigned to make a response, you know.
Exactly. They never respond. Like Nintendo is like the king of like ignore what is happening in the world.
You're supposed to zip the lips.
Exactly. So like they're not known to do this. The fact that they actually came out and said something, but they were kind of like a little bit of both ways on this one. They're like not trying to take like it's like not our fault necessarily.
It was
like
shady.
Their decision.
They kind of threw the Dispatch devs under the bus there.
I know. Like when I read that, I was just like, Nintendo's kind of just like, they're playing this like really weird in the middle phase of like, it's not us, it's them, but it's at the same time like they're trying to cater to us, and like it's
someone's fault, right? No, it's not us. Believe us, it's not us.
Yeah, right. Like we didn't force them to do this. They could have done it, but
so I know we have at the very least a very strong theory about this. Has this been confirmed, or do we have is it just a strong theory at this point? Do we know about what really happened?
I want to say somewhat. Like that is probably the case. Has to do with trying to cater to one region specific rating system. I don't know how you pronounce it in Japan. Is it the Cero?
Cero. CERO.
So basically, in Japan, if they wanted to have it at a certain rating where it would equate to more sales, they had to strip down the profanity and also the nudity. And so that was kind of the choice they did for across all the entire platform, and not just a region-specific censoring.
Yes, rather than creating a new version of the game for the Cero regions, they just censored every Switch 2
a blanket switch.
Yeah,
on the Switch.
Which
is that common? Like nowadays, would you say like there's no region-specific censoring anymore? Like I feel like if a game originally comes out in Japan, and then sometimes when it comes on the West, you see some censoring of some things. You see that. But when it's like a worldwide release, I don't know if they do region-specific censoring anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anything from like the West going to the East and censoring. I've like you said, Emily, is like there's a lot of Japanese games that are coming our way that are being like because like
down the line.
Yeah, like our rating scales are different, and so like to the Japanese developers, they want to get our sales of the US sales because like it's such a big population of people that are going to purchase this. So like you see them like kind of catering to that more so just because of the demographic of how many people they're gonna.
Yeah, and we might be more aware of this too because we are JRPG Japanese developer kind of fans, and so we see a lot of games that initially release in Japan and then trickle out to the West in a different sort of version.
Yeah,
and
you don't usually see the flip side though.
This is where this kind of becomes confusing to me from a strategy standpoint, because obviously the publisher made a decision. They're like, well, let's just censor this so that we don't hurt our sales. But so you don't hurt your sales where exactly? Right. So you don't hurt your sales in Japan, where I have to imagine, I don't have any numbers in front of me. And so if somebody does have numbers, comment, let us
Please
know.
Tell us.
My expectation is that the potential sales for Dispatch, an American like Telltale style adventure game in Japan, is probably fairly low. Their gaming market in general is a fraction the size of the US and Canada. So even if, it had a comparable percentage, right, of the gaming population in Japan that played it, it would still be a significantly smaller audience. So
because I guess keep in mind, it's not the same audience as the visual novel, audience in Japan that is fairly successful. It's hard to, I think, have that crossover because maybe they haven't done that so much of it. Maybe they think they'll be pioneers in doing it, but I'm still a little hesitant to believe that's a good strategy as well.
Yeah. And to the point about like visual novels and stuff, like there's obviously a lot of adult content in some of those games.
Yes.
But the thing is, like, their audience size is already part of their metrics, right?
Yes.
When they're making decisions about how to sell their game, they already know that, like,
and they're usually low budget.
5,000 sales in the first week sounds like nothing, but for that game, right, that type of game, that might be pretty good. Yeah. Whereas a game like Dispatch, maybe that's the sort of numbers it would be looking at over there. That's not for a game as big as Dispatch is, and for presumably the budget was significantly higher than a visual novel, right?
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm just thinking maybe the whole, stream to the Switch 2 in Japan in mind, this is before it blew up online, because Dispatch, I think, got really popular in the streaming realm, and it got maybe more attention than they were anticipating.
Oh.
So that could also be a part of it.
So they got caught off guard by
maybe
the popularity, and maybe they'd already made the decision to change.
That's what I'm wondering, but I don't know.
Yeah, because they would have had to do it like much earlier. Like this must have been in the works.
It takes a long time for these games, to go on these platforms and things. So I'm thinking that might be partially it, because it was only a few months ago, right, that Dispatch really blew up.
Mm-hmm. The confusing thing, or maybe this is just evidence of short-sightedness on the part of the publisher, is that it would make way more sense to create a new branch of development on the game, fork the version, and create a Japanese version that is censored to meet whatever standards, whatever rating they want to get, and then leave the game as it is on other platforms for the US. I'm not saying that would be no work. It would be some work, but I have to imagine somebody's in deep trouble at this publisher because of this backlash. Like, we know people personally that have canceled their pre-orders for this game when this news broke. So this is like, this isn't a nothing burger. Like, people are actually mad about this to the point of wanting their money back. So
or going to a different system. Like, I'm not buying this on the Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's available at better versions somewhere else. I'm just wondering, like, maybe they thought this through, or they knew the hype around this. They should have just released it, in the Western market first, and then made a separate version later on in Japan. It's my guess is what probably they should have done, but I guess they decided not to do that, or maybe that whole back and forth with Nintendo, there's some miscommunication that happened, and they thought they had to do something when they didn't. It's the whole thing just turned out to be a mess, right?
Do you guys think that they will in the coming months release an update patch that removes the censorship in the West? I suspect that
they're going to have to.
I think
damage control is going to kick in, and they're going to have to do something like that.
Because
at this point, it might be too late.
They're going to lose so much money.
It might be too late.
Yeah,
it could be too late because maybe people don't. The thing with a lot of these news cycles is they never hear the resolution. They just hear the fallout. So there's like a lot of games have gone in controversy, and not people hadn't realized like it actually they fixed what they did.
Yeah,
but they're like, no, I'm not buying this because of whatever.
Plus, with the like the
there's people
sudden
who think
news,
Cyberpunk 2077 still runs like
still bad. Yeah.
it's great,
true.
actually.
Yeah.
But
no, exactly. It's a whole different
it's
game.
still the thought, like, no, this is a bad game. Why would I pay money for this?
It's the first impressions thing. It's like the first
It
narrative
is.
that gets out there is the one, if it sticks at all, that's the one that's going to stick.
And the problem with it is, like, off the bat, you're dealing with the fact that people are actually canceling their pre-orders, and they're going to buy it on either like PlayStation or Steam or whatever there is, and they're not going to double dip most likely on a game like this. Like, it's not a type of game that most people are going to double dip on. So like, they're going to lose out on a whole population of people that were initially thinking of like, oh, I want to play it on the Switch too. Like, this is my system of choice.
Do we know if there was a physical that's going to be fully on the cart, or is it a game key card?
I can't imagine it's on the cart. There's can't.
The thing is, a little tangent. There have been a couple of new releases that are coming out that are not that expensive, but are actually fully on the cart for the Switch too. Like that new Disney package, and there's this other game, Mio or something.
Mio.
Yep.
I'm wondering, like, are they cheaper now? Are we actually going to see more Switch 2 true physicals?
Are there other sizes? Are there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Anyways, little tangent aside, we'll have to see the coming months what happens. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there's definitely people who double dip if there's a true physical on the Switch. Like, there's plenty of people who rebought Final Fantasy VII, remake, even though that's a game key card because of the portability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or and they wanted the magic cards inside, I guess, the first press versions. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting how all this has happened and how it unfolded. But to get back to, I guess, our censorship topic, in light of what happened with Dispatch, like, are we going to see more similar kind of things happen, in the JRPG realm? Just more, just people very angry if something like, I know for, a lot of the HD remasters that are happening for classic JRPGs in Japan, the 0 rating has changed. And so I think we're going to see more changes to some of the original like content when it comes to maybe nudity or profanity or something like that.
Yeah.
And people are going to just say, this is censorship. This is awful. Why are they doing this? And get really angry. Tales of Berseria, I think, is going to get a lot of this because I think they got rid of, or like all versions are going to get rid of, I think, the kid like dying in the beginning, right? Like getting impaled because that's now against, I think, the 0 rating.
Yeah. And there's
what's the fallout going to be because of that?
It is very funny in a sad way how things have swung from. It used to be the West that was the cause of all of the censorship, right?
Yeah.
Games that were brought to America were censored, were changed to, meet our delicate sensibilities, right? And now it's like the exact opposite.
Right? Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah,
it's so
bizarre. It's not 100%, of course, but there are
always,
some things just a little bit eyebrow raised, like, oh,
yeah, because we've gotten to the point where, like, we were talking earlier about like Japanese censoring things for the American audience, but now they're censoring things from their end, for the Japanese and for the American audience. So like, it's like the devs themselves are censoring just the full aspect of the game that they deem is not going to fit like the ratings that they believe for, let's say, Japan.
Do we think other regions will also be part of this? Like China is a huge industry as too. Are they considering Chinese, rating
at this
systems
point,
as well?
if you're a mass media company and you're not considering China, you're not going to have your job for very long because they're a huge market.
Yeah,
huge
market. So
like socially, they're very conservative. They have very strict regulations about things that can be shown, and I think that the best thing that we can hope for is, again, that these developers will fork their games and create different versions that meet the sensibilities of the various regions while maintaining as much of the artistic integrity of the creators as possible. I know when we were talking, I think the last time we were talking about censorship, we had brought up the Yuji Horii interview with him and some other oldsters at the company kind of complaining about all the changes they had to make to the remakes, right?
Yeah.
To put more clothes on the barbarian ladies and stuff, and how it's like, the Western sensibilities and stuff. And it's like, I mean, that is true to an extent. it's obviously not necessarily the creatives that want to do that. It's the publishers that have to make everything add up in the end.
Yeah.
We do that.
We got to make, this game marketable and get our money back and make more new games, with the profits. That's just how it all works. Going back to regional branches, though, I wonder, are things going to be not region free if they're really going to make drastic changes to the regions? That's
also a problem there, because the nice thing about having one version across all regions is that you can buy a Sony, like a PlayStation 5 like Japanese game or whatever, and it'll play because it's region free on the PS5. Same
and
thing
Switch games too.
Switch games as well. So you have all these options to be able to kind of like import and do things like that. If we start making it,
you could go on their eShop and download things to your US model or wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, all you need to do is make a Japanese account.
Especially for regions that don't have their own, eShop or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. So we would go back to the days of
the 3DS. I hated that.
Yeah,
region lock.
I don't like that, and it would screw over the idea of like all these really good Asian releases that have multi-language on there, and that get physical releases that exactly, like we would lose out on those aspects, and just doesn't sit right with me.
And I don't know. I'll admit I don't know a ton about how versioning works in terms of like releasing a product like this, but if they were to create multiple versions of a game simply for censorship purposes, right? Changing bits of content to meet standards. Does that necessarily mean that the systems would have to be region locked for that to work? Because like you could theoretically buy a game that has content on it that your government or whatever doesn't want you to see. And if you get your hands on it, you could still theoretically put it in your machine and it would work. There's like something that they do to the consoles, right? Either in software or hardware in the old days to prevent you from doing that, but it's not like inherent in the software. So my hope would be that it wouldn't necessarily lead to that return of region locking, because that's not good
the thing
for
is,
anybody.
It has returned. Do you guys remember the special price in Japan for a Nintendo Switch 2?
Right.
It's region locked to Japanese only.
Japan only. Yep.
Yeah.
So I could see it becoming more widespread, especially if they're going to have different regional, variations. And if there's some sort of government regulation in order to enforce that, I could see, the next systems doing that.
It would be a stepping stone to that. It might not be right away happening, but the fact that let's say Japan has a more strict aspect to this. Well, they wouldn't want people to import the American more like loose version, I guess, if you want to say, onto the Japanese one. So they would probably put a, region lock on there to ensure that Japanese were only purchasing the Japanese version.
Yeah.
So it could possibly, it's not like 100% will lead to that, but
I think it depends.
It's a domino effect.
How the global economy works out, because like my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like they created that Japanese only console to minimize like people importing, right? And so like they would have enough for their market, which they were primarily concerned with at that point.
Yeah, basically, if we were to import it in the US, I think we would have saved at least $150 was at USD.
It was
and so they want to prevent people from Japan not getting the special lower price because people are greedy and want the cheaper system elsewhere.
So that was and that's my understanding of what the region locking in that instance was.
It was.
So like, I don't know what the equivalent of that is for like software at large, right? Like
it's not for software, except again, like you can only play Japanese software on that.
Right. I'm not talking, like putting the Switch 2 aside, like software in general. I don't know what the business motivation for locking it again.
Have you guys gotten a DVD that's region locked?
Yeah.
So I actually own a lot of region 2 DVDs that you can't play on an American DVD player.
Right. I think all DVDs are some sort of region locked to their.
Yeah. So they've already done it actually in that market.
Well, and they did do that, and I'm wondering, like, is that still a concern for them? Right? Like, are Blu-rays region locked? I don't know.
Yes, they are.
Actually, they are.
They?
But the thing is, they have a different region lock than DVDs. I own a lot of them, so I know
it's
this.
Different. Oh, okay.
It's different.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Like we can't import European Blu-rays, but we can import European DVDs and have them play in our, but same with Japan. Like we can't import Japanese DVDs to an American, model, but the Blu-rays we can, and they play.
Okay.
It's interesting.
So I would be curious to know, because I think this might inform like what publishers would want to do, like why that is, like what the region locking is meant to. Yeah, but I like why, like what do they think? Is
I think in the past. In the past, there was a whole black market of DVDs, and so they wanted to region lock them.
Oh, so maybe they would import them when the dollar was stronger than whatever, and then it's kind of like CD keys right now on those Steam keys. You get a regional favorable market, you buy them up and then resell them so that they're like cheaper than buying directly on Steam in a different region. So we've been seeing that in the PC realm. I wonder if like the fact that region locking has kind of been on the decline has to do with like the pervasiveness of digital, because like now it's like you're not having to worry about somebody coming in and undercutting your market by importing a bunch of your product with a stronger currency and then selling it for profit somewhere else, right?
Yeah, like, we just see it again, the digital Steam keys.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah. So anyway, obviously we don't want region locking to come back.
No.
Please no.
Please no.
I mean, there's not really a good side to that for the consumer.
I think it's very consumer unfriendly.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to lock in a regional like price variation, like for countries that need to have lower, regional pricing. Mm-hmm. But even then, I don't approve.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, censoring, like we've touched on, the whole Japanese US market, how that's become more tied than ever, I would say, at least in the media press right now. But I guess looking at censorship as a whole, like how do you guys feel about when people talk about censorship in JRPGs? Usually with a negative light. Have you heard of a positive light? I want to say no.
No.
I would say no.
Not in the discourse. Not
not the discourse.
The discourse is never going to be balanced or thoughtful, really. Like
no.
I honestly, personally, I don't see a ton of artistic value in censorship.
No.
Because the censorship, like if something is being censored, right, it's being changed by somebody other than the artist who created it. That's what denotes censorship, is somebody else is changing a work. Either maybe the artist approves it, but like it's not their choice, right? They're not deciding to do that themselves.
Not the first choice.
Yeah. If an artist does it themselves with
is that censorship?
Yeah, is that censorship, first of all, and secondly, like is that better if their goal is being met? So like the example that immediately comes to mind is like Xenosaga episode 1, Der Wilsermacht. Okay. The scene with Albedo and Momo, where he like, I guess, cuts his own head off. He can't die is his thing. He can't die. Any injury he gets, he regenerates like almost immediately. So to scare her, he like cuts his own head off, and she freaks out, and then his head grows back. Right.
Yeah.
In the American version, I forget, what does he do? Does he just like break his neck, or what does he do?
I'm trying to remember.
It's not a visual slice off the head.
It's not a literal head cutting off.
You don't see it. It doesn't.
Did he like break his head? Oh,
I think it's like alluded to. It's alluded to it happening.
Yeah, you hear like a break or
something.
something.
You don't see it.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have a knife.
He doesn't say what it is.
They cut it away. So like he has a knife, and like he's
no. I don't think he has a knife. I think that was the
no.
big
Actually,
change.
no, it's his hand.
It's his hand.
Oh.
Yeah, and the same thing. There's like another censorship aspect to that, is because like at some point he has like Momo, I think, unconscious, and he's like reaching into her body, like through
he's
like kind of like
phasing into her.
Yeah, phasing into her, and so like they remove the aspect of like him
going inside.
So he's like, I think he's got his hand over her and it's glowing or something, right? Like those weren't censored in the sense of like they put black bars or they cut a scene out. Like
yeah,
blurred
the
it.
devs, the artists created new versions of the scene. right? And maybe it was at the direction of the publisher. Maybe Bandai Namco was like, "Oh, guys, this is a little icky.
Hold up, guys.
You know, think of the children." And so they asked them to do it
For a T-rated game. Think of the children.
I'm less upset. I don't like it. I'm not like, oh, that's better that they did that.
No, exactly.
I'm less upset when it's done by the artists themselves because they want to be able to make more money from their art. Like, I feel like they should be able to make money from
I think
their
they should
art.
make money.
Yeah.
And if having this scene is going to cause the rating to go from T to M, that is a like double-digit percentage decrease in sales.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
is there some statistic where like a T-rated game versus M-rated games, you see the sales difference? Because we know there's of course exceptions. Like Clair Obscur is, you know, it's rated M and did very well, but that's I think like one in like a million, right? Kind of instances where it worked out.
And who's to say like if there was a T-rated version of Clair Obscur, would it have sold even better?
That's
Who
true.
knows,
like
right?
I think they're up to what, 5 million sales? They could have been 10 million by now if it was T potentially.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
It's like what baffles me about like also like, you know, this whole discourse on this is like, I think we talked about it last time in terms of like the difference between gaming as a hobby and like, let's say movies and other things as a hobby, is that like it's very normalized in the Hollywood industry and movie industry to
TV.
To like, you know, you can only say certain curse words as so many times until you get like an R rated, or you can only show so much of a person naked until it becomes like an R rated or whatever it is. And so a lot of these movies are like picking and choosing, like, all right, we'll show like maybe one little thing here, one little thing, we'll have a thing, but they really kind of hone in
ahead of time, right?
Exactly.
When they're making the process.
Exactly.
They're not cutting things out usually. Like I'm sure they film a bunch of things and they're like, okay, I like this scene. This turned out well. We'll include this, not this one.
Exactly. And so like that happens all the time in Hollywood movies. And they'll talk about it. Like they're very open about saying like, hey, like we had a rated R version. And that's why you got like so many director's cut versions that came to DVD, is that like, they're like, oh yeah, here's like what we wanted to do with it. And this is like the unrated version for a lot of comedies that just had everything thrown back in.
And that right there, Dala, is I think that's a brilliant idea for games to adopt. Like, you know, give us a game if you need to change content to make a certain rating, make a T rating in America and in Canada,
and make a definitive edition.
Make a director's cut. If it's a good selling game, right? Make a director's cut that is rated M or unrated. Well, I don't know if they could sell it unrated.
I don't think they could unrate it. Yeah,
but make it rated M and put some extra goodies in there and sell it to us.
Extra goodies.
Because if we are upset about a game being changed and you offer us, you know, hey, we made our sales. We got our T-rated version of the game. We're made ourselves. Here is the original version uncut. For movies have been doing it, like you said, Dala, for a long time. For a long time.
As long as I remember, yes.
Why not do the same thing with video games? Let's do it.
I agree, because like that way, like the opportunity is there to make the money that you want with the lower rating, but at the same time, you're also going to appeal to everybody and give them like the original design after the fact. It could be even like, let's say, even if it's a DLC that unlocks or changes things, so that way you don't have to purchase the whole game again. Or
that's
like,
perfectly fine.
For those who don't want to do that, like so you have like a physical version for people who want a physical version of it, and then you can also just download like a update path or upgrade path that gives you like.
Could you do an upgrade to a different rating?
That's what I was just going to ask. Is I don't know if they would have to re-rate the game based on downloadable content.
They might have to.
They might have to
do a different version.
But so in that case, you could do a digital version of the director's cut, right? Like a separate version, and maybe you could do a discounted rate if you already own the game. Or you know what? Here's the thing, publishers, people like us, we're prime customers for this. We'll just buy it again.
No,
you
exactly.
Sell it twice. We'll probably buy it again. If they made a Xenosaga Episode 1 director's cut, do you know how quickly my dumb butt would have bought it? So quickly. Immediately.
It would be on my shelf right now.
The stuff they changed. I don't even care that much about it. I still would have bought it right away.
No, exactly.
Well, didn't he also change Episode 2 when it was the DS version?
the story, because they were combined into one, and there were some changes.
It all. Yeah.
So we got that too. That'd be cool.
That would be fantastic.
Support.
I would love them to do something with that.
That is definitely something maybe publishers would take more advantage of. I know, like, I think when it comes down to it, there's not going to be that many scene changes, right?
No.
Most likely, like, less than 5 is my guess.
Like,
I don't think there's going to be a huge number of scenes that would change. Like, usually when these developers are making these games, they have in mind what lines they shouldn't cross for a certain rating. So I know a huge contention when it comes to censorship is character design. And so if you like different costumes for characters, I think this is another option of like a DLC if you want the more revealing costume, if you will, for the female character is usually what you hear online discourse all the time.
What do you guys feel about what's the name of the game, the Korean game?
Stellar Blade?
Stellar Blade, yes. Where even like the secondary costumes that you would get were also kind of more like I wouldn't say they're conservative to begin with. They went at it, but like they're also
they went for it, man.
They did kind of, I think, censor
when they
a
had like
little
little
bit.
bandeau or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
a little stupid black, like no.
Because I think the original,
like, really? I think she looks still like, very revealing right there.
Oh no, 100%. Like she's still definitely very like revealing.
But
they wanted
like
they wanted it extra. I guess I don't know.
If the devs want to do it too, I think that's also the thing. Like I wouldn't want to put characters that the devs created into some sort of costume that was never their vision to begin with, which unfortunately I feel like is sometimes tied into this conversation about how revealing should the clothes be, how sexy should they be. Well, if we want them just to, just be a character and not just be some sort of sex image, I think that's fair too. No,
I think the thinking person agrees with you, Emily. The thinking person who plays video games agrees. Like,
there's plenty of revealing characters that I think are great too. They stand on their own, but they don't always have to,
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I don't think everything has to be revealing.
That's a big reason about why my wife has an issue with so many JRPGs. She's like, why are they wearing that? That's not even practical for what they're doing. Their job being like on an adventure. This is the worst thing you could wear. Why are you doing it?
They're often very impractical clothes. That's true. They do look cute, usually, but impractical.
It's a tale as old as time with that, because if you look at it, it's always been a running joke of like the female character being like, you have the male character is like decked out in all this like heavy gear, and then you have the female character who's like in some sort of like armored bikini thingy, and somehow
exposing exposing every part.
So it's like it's not realistic, but it's like
I have Rebecca from One Piece in my mind right now with the armored bikini.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And but the one thing I was thinking something. I'll keep going. I'm gonna remember what it was.
And like and that's changed. It used to be like in the 80s, especially, and maybe before. Like they do the same thing to the guys, right? The guy was wearing some tiny little thong almost, right, and just like giant Fabio, like glistening
huge
chest.
Abs too. That's also not realistic.
Right. It's like it was equivalent. It was equivalent. So it's like the characters were dressed all sexy, but it was both of them were, right? And I think over time it's kind of shifted to where the men are dressed realistically, if not practically, and the women
masculine
are still
without being super sexualized.
Yeah.
I know I saw some discourse of people saying like, why is Leon always sexualized? Why can't we do this to women? It's always Leon. Like, well, Leon Kennedy is and he's covered up, man. I don't think it's the same.
He's got that Sex Panther on, that perfume.
He does, but also he's got the nice coats on. I'm jealous about his jackets. He has a good jacket game.
Nice. He's got a solid jacket game for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's strange that we anyway. Yes, the facts are what they are. It's very strange to me.
But like, what do you guys take on this? So like, there's this whole idea of like, we're talking about like sexy characters, and that's very subjective, and also like
it is.
But like, I see there's a lot of discourse online, especially that talks about like if they're not conventionally what like society deems to be sexy from like a very, I think, like
male
male-oriented yeah, for a male gaze. There's like all your you're making her look like quote unquote ugly or whatever it is. Like there's always this like idea of like, well, they should have just designed her better. That's like why can't they just make a better looking character? Like there's so much of that, I think, like toxicity that sits in like the censorship aspect of like it.
Yeah, it is interwoven. I think at the end of the day, we want unrealistic characters, right? Both male and female.
Yeah.
And when we try to insert some realism, people get upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though there's so many characters out there, so many games, you don't have to nitpick the one game. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never bought or not bought a game because I was mad about how a character looked. That to me is like sorry to all the people. Like, I just feel like it's so silly. Like if the game is good, if the story is good, if the characters are interesting, the way they look is the least
right. Like if we think of PS1 era, PS2 era, they had some janky looking character models. I was fine with them.
It's the meme where when Noah goes up to Squall and says, "You're the best looking guy here," and it's this like massive polygons. Like they were all monsters. They were all hideous monsters. You know, we used our imaginations. It was fine.
He looks like he went through a really like horrific accident, like just disfigured completely.
Yeah. He had just been in a war. It happens. It happens.
It's like he was in the trenches, that's for sure.
But yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah,
guys.
I just like.
I think people like to complain. You know,
yeah,
this is an easy, contentious topic to complain about.
Yeah,
but like at the same time, like judging these characters based off of their specific like aspect of like whether they're considered beautiful or not, like that's not always like. There's so many different types of people out there. There's so many people that you want to also cater to. Like everybody needs to have like a character that they can relate to.
Games are not meant for just one person, right?
Exactly.
I think as a medium, it should be multiple people. Could be an audience, a potential audience. If you don't like how it's being catered for this one game, again, just don't buy it.
Yeah,
don't support it if you don't like it.
It's gatekeeping in another form, right? Like you're saying,
true. Yeah,
I want the characters to all appeal to me, and if they don't, I'm gonna kick up a huge fuss, and so that nobody buys the game, so that it fails. I want this game to fail because it didn't.
Divert your attention to the ones you do like. Show support for those. They'll make more games like that because developers like money too. Mm-hmm. It's very easy.
Yep.
No, exactly. And then, when you spend your money, the way you spend your money will kind of shift their style. And so it just at the end of the day,
free market, man.
Yeah, like we live in a capitalist society that has, that you can kind of vote with your wallet, and you can kind of these companies will cater to that because
like I'm pretty sure, as we mentioned with Dispatch, all this hubbub, something's going to happen. Something's going to break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
that's voting with your wallet. Like, of course, the discourse online has made it louder. So I think that's how some people maybe justify being loud about things they don't like. I think, again, when it comes to this has its pros and cons. Like, unfortunately, when you see this time and time again in certain areas, all I see is the little boy who cried wolf. People tend to ignore you once you do this one too many times and generate a fuss. That is not a big deal in many other people's eyes. So I think a lot of this comes down to, choosing the right thing to be upset about. And that helps make change.
Yeah.
Like things that like is inherently like we don't want censorship as a whole. Like that's just something that like we don't agree with the idea of censorship.
Especially in media. Like we don't want ideas, especially being censored. Like this is supposed to be a medium that's making us think critically and be open to new things. If it's being censored in one direction or the other, that's never a good thing.
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
We've all kind of heard of the book 1984. We know what happens when censorship becomes a thing. So we're not looking
2 + 2 = 5.
But at the same time, we can't fight every battle. We have to pick and choose the ones that actually like what is true censorship and what is not. So like, a character not looking as beautiful as you want them to be is not true censorship. It's just a design choice.
It is.
At that point, it is like
it's not censorship.
Yeah, they've designed it this certain way.
And if you want
not
to
catering
say
to you does not mean censorship.
If you want to say, hey, that's because they're catering to Western sensibilities and not Japanese sensibilities.
That's not it.
I mean, I like, even if it is like they want to sell their game here, right? Like if a Japanese dev makes a character that is going to be more accepted by the West, they think, maybe they're wrong, but maybe, you know, that's what they're trying to do. They're doing it for a reason, right? Like they want to sell more games.
One example, I've been playing Code Vein 2 recently, and people have come into my chat when I've been streaming it saying, I hate these character models. These look so anime and uncool. I'm like, so you don't have to play it. I like the character models. I think they look great. And that's a very Japanese aesthetic. But I think a lot of people want something like Elden Ring. Like we want something to look medieval and grotesque or something. And that is more mature and cool looking design. Yeah. But no, I like the anime aesthetic. I think it's great. They're little vampires.
And people don't understand. Like at the end of the day,
adorable little vampires. Come on.
Let them be.
Exactly. At the end of the day, they are like, not every game is going to cater to you. Like Code Vein 2 is not going to be for those who don't enjoy anime aesthetics. And that's totally fine. You can go on, go play Elden Ring, go get there's so many Souls-like games out there.
Yeah,
like,
we're not
hungry for this. Like there's an abundance of these types of games.
And more are coming, I'm sure.
Exactly. So we don't need to, it doesn't need to turn into something. You don't need to like cry about it. It needs to be cry wolf. Just go play a different game. And that's okay. Like I don't play every game that I see out there. Like there's some games I look at, I'm like, yeah, it's just not for me. I'm sorry.
And
that's totally fine.
That was for me too.
When it comes to not crying wolf, I do think the dispatch discourse is good. I think that is good. In my opinion, it's like, this is correct. Like this is you saying,
good point to bring up. Yeah.
I don't like that you're doing this thing. Like you're giving us a lesser experience than other people on other platforms got. I want my money back. I think that is a good use of your voice.
Exactly.
And it does send a message, right? Like the message has been received.
To be clear, the censorship isn't just because they covered up the titties in the other things, right? It's more of they are removing and stripping down what Dispatch is because of these censorship choices. And that's why I think a lot of people are up in arms and vocal about this.
I like the phraseology of removing the stripping. Removing the stripping down of that. The stripping is gone. They removed the stripping.
And like, the other aspect of that really kind of makes me annoyed is that people pre-ordered this game with the expectation that they were getting
the same experience that's been out.
Experience that they got with either the Steam edition or the Sony edition or whatever they're getting, and then they realize that it's not that edition and it's a diluted version. Like that's not okay. Like if they were going to do that, like when they announced the Switch 2 edition, they should have been upfront. It should have been very clear on the pre-order page that, hey, this is censored. And then the consumer can make a decision. Yes. Yeah. Like if they're going to censor it, fine. I don't agree with that, but
at least they talked about it now than when it released. That would have been even more of a problem.
True. That's good.
No, exactly. At least it came out. Yes. But they should have been very clear when the pre-orders open for the Switch 2 version. Sure. Yeah. So that way people can decide whether they want it or not. To learn it,
but
like
adding,
after the fact.
For example, like Smash characters with Mithra Pyra, adding the black like leotard under their outfit, which is more practical when they are smashing, right? And Smash.
When they smash.
Sorry, I do not play Smash Brothers.
One.
I love that.
That sounded really bad. Smashing. No.
So when
it was like
Pyra and Mithril are smashing.
It was very mom coded in a two different ways, and like using the term that makes it actually sound worse than it is.
I know. It is like the most.
I love it. But you're right. Yeah, when they're fighting, when they're beating each other up.
It's practical. Like they have. I like their design personally, and their amiibos like that too.
Yeah, that looks good.
It's not stripping down what Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was as a whole. Like all the existential stuff they had in there, and so nihilism, like. None of those themes were stripped down because they, in Smash Brothers, wore black leotards under their outfits. Yeah. Also, they had like a different costume in the game itself. Like that's not, I don't think, the worst censorship that could happen.
Yeah. And then like it's also in a fighting game, and fighting games generally have them in it's different costumes usually. Like they always kind of customize
skirt,
it.
I guess, but still, like, do we need to? Is that why you play Smash Brothers, to look up character skirts?
It's
There's
a
other games
creative
you can play
choice.
to do that, by the way.
Yeah, it's just a decision by the designers. Like that's exactly
And that's a rated
it.
E for everyone game. They want the
That's
little kids to play that
exactly
game.
it.
No,
Is
exactly.
like
That's
you-
a kid's game.
This is exactly it, though. Like, this is what choosing your battles is, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Screaming about censorship with Pyra and Mithra in Smash Brothers because their outfit is slightly different. That is creating an environment where people are not going to take serious
Seriously.
incidents of censorship seriously.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm glad at least Dispatch is being considered seriously. That's why Nintendo spoke up about it, why the devs, I think, have been speaking up about it. And we might see some sort of course correction and some sort of patch later on. We don't know if that's
almost. I mean, I would be
most likely.
surprised
I would hope
if
so.
they don't. Yeah,
They
gotta
should
do some
do
damage
something.
control.
I mean,
And I think even like we talked about Stellar Blade, I think they did revise some of the costumes after people are upset that it had like a little black strip
yeah.
to not show as much under boob or something.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't know. I think choosing your battles and not thinking you have to do like, all whenever you see censorship happen, you have to cry, like, declare and be, on it because you think one, like, what's the expression? This is going to be a thing that breaks the camel's back or something. It's not quite like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not like if you don't say object to it all, it's going to be inevitable. I don't think that's the case.
No, and that's why I'm glad you brought up the Pyra and Mithra example because we have to get on the same page, I think, as a community of what censorship is so that we can talk about it so that we can actually be effective about it. You know, a creative choice by a designer based on the market they're trying to sell to is not censorship, right? That's
choice.
just a creative decision, right?
Yes.
And I'm still all for the idea of creating a director's cut. Like if the original vision of the creator can be preserved in that way, I think that's fantastic. I don't know why they haven't done that. They should. But, instances like we're seeing with Dispatch, like of content just being covered up, cut out, like, yes, there we're talking about censorship. Yes,
for sure.
That's where you want to be speaking up. And to do otherwise, to yell about everything just creates a useless din of nothing. And nobody's going to listen to you. So
and we won't get any sort of wins, when it comes to making our media as, the true vision that it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At the same time, I do understand the desire to experience like the original creator's vision. I do understand that. And I also share that, right? Like I prefer to not have content changed, even if it's by the devs, in response to the publisher saying like, hey, maybe we need to shift this because of the market. That's why I think that the director's cut idea is the thing that solves that problem. Or
regional differences, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on that, but it could also backfire. I don't know.
It's
like regulation steps in.
Like Emily, your example of Tales of Berseria with that like scene being removed. Like now we know that like the first time I played that game was with that scene in there. Or was it? No, it was never in the US version.
It was never in the US one. It was in the Japanese one.
It was in the Japanese one. So we never got
in
the version.
New upcoming HD one, it's going to be removed.
It's going to be removed for both locales. Which, I mean, I don't love it. I would like to have the original vision of what the Japanese devs were trying to go for. It's not my favorite, but I understand what they're going for, why they're doing it. Like Brandon said, it would be nice if we got like a director's cut that kind of gives us everything. But I'm also not
I don't
going
know if I want to see
scream.
a kid being Lance like that.
No. But
like maybe that's not the best example of censorship that maybe could have been avoided in some respects, if not for, the rating system.
Yeah, and they could tastefully change it to make it still impactful because like that whole sequence is very impactful to I forget what her name is.
I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Berseria. Do you remember
Violet?
Oh, Violet?
Yes, it is Violet.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's that scene is very integral to her character. For the rest
it made
of
her what she was, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like that was like the deep
it made
sense
her a
of
different
revenge.
type of protagonist.
Not Violet. It's
Velvet.
It's a V. It's a
Velvet.
It's a V
Velvet.
name.
Yes,
It's a V
that's
name.
it. Yes. Velvet. So that scene is very like integral to her. But in the US version, I didn't feel like I lost anything.
Right.
Not seeing that. So
so
it's like the pick and choosing aspect that I'm like, I'm not going to make a huge fuss.
It's upsetting or sad that we didn't get the one that was original. However, our experience hasn't totally changed with what they replaced it with.
I know that I'm kind of with that particular example.
Okay.
I know that like in especially Western society, there is a like avoidance in general of showing children in peril or children being harmed. Like it's considered more taboo than showing an adult being killed or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. Like it doesn't bother me. Like if that's what the artist is if they're trying to shock me by showing me this, I'm fine. Bring it on. It just reminds me actually of, the show The Walking Dead, right? The popular AMC zombie show.
Yeah.
I remember
also has such Telltale game after it.
A really good one too.
There's the tie-in. Yeah. But I remember when I was watching that show, I watched it for a few seasons and then I lost interest.
I could do one season.
Yeah.
At
the end of the second season, I remember they show a child dying, a zombie child, right? And somebody had posted online like, that's the last straw for me. I'm not going to watch a show where they kill a kid. And I was like, brother, did you watch the first episode?
Right.
Did you see, did you watch the first scene of the first episode? What?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
and like honestly, one of the most,
that's just a little tangent, but
one of the big games, and like one of the big games is Last of Us, and that game starts off within the sequence, the initial sequence, with his daughter dying.
Yeah.
Right. Spoiler, I guess, for people who haven't played the game.
If you haven't played
if you haven't played it, and there's like so many different remakes and remasters.
Also, it's the first event in the game. You're fine.
It doesn't change anything about the game. It doesn't change. It doesn't spoil anything.
But it's like they chose to show us that because it was like,
impact.
Oh, what a gut punch, right?
And then now the Zero region, I think, also doesn't want you to show children like that. So that's why they're adopting the US version in Japan with this HD remaster.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sad about the shifting of things that's going to kind of remove that creative vision from the creators, right? Yeah. I'm sad about that, but it's like it's not going to make me stop playing games. I'm still going to buy the games because I like
and support them. Yeah,
and I'm going to support.
We want more Tales games.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's fine to talk about these things. That's one area where I want to be clear. When we're talking about screaming and crying about these things, we're talking about screaming and crying. We're not talking about rationally, calmly discussing them.
Yes.
Right. Not everything is boycottable. Not every incident is has to rise to that level. And it's when you bring things to that level all the time that they lose effectiveness. Absolutely, you should talk about these things like calmly, politely, respectfully online, in person, critically. Let's talk about these things, but let's not make everything the level of 1984. We're doomed, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like everyone's so ready for pitchforks.
That's what gets clicks.
That's how
the grifters make their money.
That's also like the biggest issue that we were kind of facing as like
the social media implosion.
You started to see bits and pieces of it when in the early days of the internet with, let's say, Xenosaga, when that censor came up, like in the forums and all these things, people were up in arms and angry about it, but it was still kind of contained because not as many people were online. It's not as hard. It's hard to spread information as fast as it is now. And so and influencers weren't a thing then, and people weren't making money off of this stuff. So I feel like we're in a stage at this point where we've got these grifters who are the
worst intersection.
Exactly. Like they feed off of this negativity quite literally because that's how they make their money. And so they generate and they perpetuate the same negativity and anger
and little nitpicks.
Exactly.
That make them like it's the planet's falling, like, the sky's falling.
Deal. Yeah, the biggest deal in the world.
Exactly. Like, and the world is already negative enough to add more negativity to that. And so that's where we're like, pick and choose. Like, it's good to talk about it.
Like stop and think about this for a second.
Exactly. it's good to talk about censorship. It's good to talk about these things and say like, hey, this is not great. I wish it would change. But at the same time, we also want these games to also come out in the West. Like it's been our biggest thing that we've fought for all these years, especially from a JRPG fan, is like getting JRPGs in the West and not having
localized
them stuck.
for a bigger audience. We want them to thrive here.
Exactly.
Right? We want more and thrive.
Yeah, and if we
someone might go ahead and say, "Oh, I like older JRPGs. JRPGs haven't been good since Final Fantasy VII, the original." Well, I'm sorry you're missing out if you don't think modern JRPGs are great too.
Yeah. Well, that's just, I feel like that's the most like boomer take to anything.
It's amazing how so many people in our relative like age, how we're already turning into that.
It's that old, like that older generation that we always said we wouldn't like act like, is like, you starting to see that.
It's so natural. I get it.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it happens. You see it.
It's inevitable. Apparently.
And it's not just games. People talk about it from a musical perspective, from movies, TV, movies. All media in general, everything. Like hobbyist type things. Like people are just gonna be like, well, it just wasn't good as good as it was in the 80s or the 70s or the 90s or whatever it is. It's like, and I'm like, okay, well,
now your tastes haven't evolved.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And even other things like, kids are just always on their cell phones. They don't interact with other people. And then you see those pictures of like the trains back in the 1930s and everybody's got the newspaper up in front of their face. Yeah. Like this is how it's always been. It's just a little bit different.
Exactly. Yeah. We've always been chasing some sort of media to consume while we're just kind of existing. Now it's just easily readily available with a phone or anything like that. So
there are some things that have been lost, I will admit, and some things that they've min-maxed everything to make the highest retention and highest like monetary gains. Then they kind of exploit the system a bit nowadays. But I don't think that means that the media is trash. I think there's still a lot of great games coming out. A lot of great games coming out this year. I think we're all looking forward to.
I feel like
there are as many good games and movies and whatnot as there ever have been. There's just a lot more games, so you do have to look a little harder, but there are still
gotta pick and choose.
And from a JRPG perspective, I mean, minus like this last year where it's been a lot of remasters, but like the last so many years have been packed with new IPs, new games, new everything. It's
just freaking shows. I look around my room and I'm like, if I had stuff like this when I was a kid, there were like 8. I remember when there were 8 JRPGs.
We have Trails merch officially in the U.S. licensed Trails merch.
I know.
I never would have expected this. Not in a million years. It's amazing.
It's incredible where we are, and the fact that like I have to pick and choose what to buy, makes it like it's not like I can buy one thing and have to wait. Like, okay, well, the next thing I want is probably not going to be out for another like 6 to 8 months or a year. No, it's just like I bought this thing, and then like next week another game comes out, and I'd be like, I don't have time to play that one. I have to
complain more about not having time to play all the games that come out than we do about anything else. Because that's just reality now.
It is.
So we're I feel very fortunate.
Very.
Yes.
And
very fortunate.
Yeah. Trying to look on the bright side with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this dispatch situation has at least been addressed or talked about.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hopefully it will be fixed.
And some resolutions, like if you don't buy it on the Switch 2, at least there's other platforms you could buy it on, and it's
and
uncensored state.
At least they are honoring returns.
Yes.
So that in itself is something that everyone can look on the positive side of that. So at least we are getting that. Everyone who is not happy can return it.
Yeah. You guys played Dispatch yet?
Not yet.
I haven't.
It's on my list.
I'm looking forward to it.
I have it in my Steam library. I was thinking maybe I should play it. My broology is what my chat calls him, my brother.
Broology.
Broology.
He's the one who funds my Steam account because he buys games all the time and never plays them. I'm like, okay, I'll play them then.
I need a brother like that.
I should ask my brother.
I'm trying to get him to buy Liza
library.
P for me.
Good call.
Hints like, you're interested in Liza P, right?
You should get that.
My chat has been wanting me to play. They say it's really good. He's like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I planted the seed.
Brandon, you and I should just share each other's libraries to each other. So that way
you should, guys.
We don't have to.
I think there's I forget on Steam, what's the max amount of people you could share, and if there's like a distance thing, but I think you guys should be fine.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
It should be fine. I think. but we should definitely do that. Anyways, though, it's been a wild ride of an episode. I think there's a lot of
we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah,
it's an interesting topic. I'm glad we've really kind of focused on it for this episode.
Yeah, not just mention it offhand. And, you know, whenever we do that, there's always going to be someone said, but you didn't say this thing about it. Like, well, this is hopefully a bit more of a well-rounded conversation around it, like, you know, censorship. And I'm sure of course, it's only an hour episode, so we didn't say everything.
And we didn't have anybody on the show who's like ravenously anti-censorship to the point, like to the other extreme, right? Where it's like, change nothing or you've ruined it and I'm not going to buy it. So we didn't have that perspective on here.
That's true.
So
maybe one day we'll get somebody.
Maybe a future guest, if you know, if we get some more connections, we'll try to.
Let us know in the comments who we should invite on.
Who should we invite? Who has a different opinion?
Who should we invite
people
on?
Who think Trail sucks? I think that's probably who we really should invite.
Oh,
there you go.
We should totally bring somebody on
that hates
trails.
Someone who hates trails and have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like an intervention almost. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to. It's not unfair.
No,
3
kidding.
Trails fans versus 1 Trails hater. I don't know if that's fair to them.
Oh, that's what we can,
on their
that's what we can call the
might,
episode. It's like those debates that go online on YouTube.
Oh yeah. They might view it as a fun challenge, right? Like
that's true. You
know.
But anyways, thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate the support here on YouTube as well as on other listening platforms if you are checking us out there. I want to say though, we are almost at 3K subscribers on YouTube.
I know.
We are so close. So if you haven't subscribed to us, we would really appreciate it. Even if you listen to us on other platforms, consider dropping us a sub on there. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
And also big thanks to our members, all of our pursuer tier levels and all that. You get the Discord, extra content, and we will be doing some spoiler casts in the future, including a Trails one that should be around the corner.
Yes.
So
looking forward to that.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, we'll be scheduling that soon, and we'll put that out, and it's going to be fun.
We're going to have some fun guests on that one.
Horizon.
All
the spoilers.
Horizon.
Yes.
Lots of things to talk about.
Then, of course, that's not taking the place of the one that our Pursuer Plus members voted on, Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Yes.
That should be fun, too. Brandon's, I think, still working away, right?
Yeah, now that I'm finished with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, I am fully in Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Awesome.
And I only sort of forgot how to play. So I'm picking it back up.
It's like riding a bike. You'll be good.
It is.
You'll be good.
It is.
You'll pick it up
Skinned my knees a few times, but I'm dedicated. So
love it.
You got it.
Love it. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yes.
So thanks everyone again for sticking with us. And until next week, bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.